2015 has been a very interesting year for us.
Go back to Ken where you come from, because you don't belong in Newcastle. These people that's let it go on, right? And it's these Muslim grooming gangs that's doing it.
Why has there been so much hate? Well, you can imagine the reasons.
11 people have been confirmed dead in an attack on the controversial French satirical magazine Charlie Hebdo.
A slick propaganda video from Islamic State. Computer graphics show a suicide bomber moving in for the kill.
Due to the incidents that took place in Paris and other atrocities by extremists, there has been a huge backlash against Muslims around the world. But this is not new to us. In fact, by the will of Allah, IDC has been at the forefront of tackling a lot of these incidents and issues. We have confronted them head on. We've tackled these issues and problems that have occurred as a result of what is happening in the world around us, whether that's locally, nationally or internationally. So when it came to the murder in Woolwich in 2013, we held an event entitled The Face of Extremism.
The purpose of tonight's programme is really twofold. First of all, we as the Muslim community in the Northeast want to send out a strong message against all forms of extremism.
When the hysteria around halal meat hit the papers, we put out our response. When the issue of grooming gangs were exposed across the UK, we held an event entitled Sexual Grooming Beyond the Headlines.
Decades. You know, we're talking about decades of abuse. We're talking about tens and thousands of victims. And if we talk about beyond the headlines and having the reality check.
And in 2015, when Pegida came to Newcastle, we stood up and firmly said we are against racism and against hatred of all forms, both on our Islamic Awareness stall and in an event.
Prophet Muhammad, may God's peace and blessings be upon him, he said that there's no superiority of a black man over a white man and no superiority of a white man over a black man.
And with these recent attacks in Paris, we've held an event entitled The Face of Terrorism.
So in regards to this issue, does Islam promote terrorism? I say unequivocally, unapologetically, without any hesitation, the classical understanding that people have about terrorism, Islam is diametrically opposed to it.
Tackling these issues is something we do as an organisation in many ways, and 2015 has been no different. And do you know what? At IDC, we don't mind taking it on. We don't mind being at the forefront. We don't mind standing up and dealing with these issues. It's our opportunity to combat the hate that's out there. We want to be there at the forefront, challenging and changing the misconceptions, stereotypes and the misunderstandings that people have about Islam. Not everyone wants to have to deal with the far right, so we do it so you don't have to. We don't mind taking that burden off the rest of the Muslims. Because if it means the general Muslim population of the Northeast, every single one of you, do not get harassed by the likes of the far right, or abused or mistreated because of your faith, then we don't mind. And that right there is why we do what we do. Standing on the Islamic Awareness stall week in and week out, the events, the workshops in schools and businesses, and the social media work online. So we will stand up against the Islamophobes, the racists, against those who have a prejudice towards Muslims, against those who have a misunderstanding of Islam. We will carry on to put on events and tackle the issues that other people are not tackling. But what we do need, what we do require, is the help and support to be able to do it. In order for us to do that, we need your help. And we look to the community of the Northeast to support us in spreading this message, the message of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam.